The Melbourne Convention and Exhibition Centre is refusing to allow a Chinese arts company to stage a dance performance called Shen Yun. As Rebecca Weiser reports in The Spectator Australia, the most plausible reason for this is that the arts company is associated with Falun Gong, the meditation group that was banned by the Chinese Communist Party in 1999 for being too popular. Its followers have since been jailed, tortured and even killed by the CCP. Australians used to fight to defend people against that kind of tyranny, but not in Dan Andrews' Victoria, which is $116 billion, that's billion, dollars in debt, the biggest state debt in Australian history and rising, and will take whatever it can from Dan's friends in Beijing, where he recently made a secret visit. Dan's government has been found by the independent broad-based Anti-Corruption Commission to have acted improperly in the awarding of a $1.2 million contract to its friends in the Health Workers Union in 2018. IBAC described this as, quote, the phenomenon of grey corruption that is of increasing concern to integrity bodies around Australia. It's increasing, all right. Taxpayers who read the IBAC report into the matter will be incandescent with rage at the cavalier way their money is given to Dan's friends in the union movement. Dan himself dismissed the report as educational. Dan's secretive trip to China was followed by his West Australian counterpart, Mark McGowan, this week, who was not so secretive. McGowan, who is emphatically pro-China, was caught on a hot mic disparaging West Australian federal Liberal MP and former SAS soldier Andrew Hastie for having, quote, swallowed some sort of Cold War pills when he was born, unquote. McGowan was in China, of course, to suck up to the murderous communist regime. Meanwhile, Hastie has repeatedly warned that China's motives are essentially hostile to Australian values. Both McGowan and Dan Andrews are making their states increasingly and unquestioningly reliant on the Chinese Communist Party. This is a dramatic shift from the sort of alliances Australia has traditionally had. But that might be the new norm anyway. French President Emmanuel Macron also visited China last week and on his way back to France told reporters that Europe should stay out of any conflicts that might arise, nudge nudge, wink wink, should the murderous Chinese regime make a move on the democratic nation of Taiwan. If China does invade Taiwan, as it has promised to do so soon, Australia will be unavoidably dragged into the conflict. Macron was essentially saying that Australia, whose soldiers fought and died in 2 world wars defending France, is on its own when the emerging Asian superpower makes its move.